HOA Karen knocked over Dad's wheelchair. Didn't know Mom's a federal judge. The community center parking lot was a war zone of honking horns and glares. But Karen's voice sliced through it all like a foghorn. "Move your damn chair. Old man," she barked, her manicured nails tapping her steering wheel as she leaned out her SUV window. She didn't just want a parking spot, she demanded the world bend to her will. I was there, unloading groceries for the center's food drive, when I saw my dad, Henry, maneuvering his wheelchair toward the ramp. At 78, he's no stranger to stairs, but he's got a stubborn pride that keeps him rolling through life with a grin. That grin faded when Karen's SUV screeched into the handicapped spot he was heading for. She didn't even glance at the blue placard on his chair. Instead, she flung her door open, stormed out in her pristine white sneakers, and shoved his wheelchair with a force that sent it tipping. Dad hit the asphalt hard, his grocery bag spilling apples and cans across the lot. I froze, my heart pounding, as Karen sneered. "You shouldn't be out here clogging things up." The crowd around us gasped, phones already out, filming. I dropped my bags and ran to Dad, my knees scraping the pavement as I knelt beside him. His hands trembled, not from pain but from humiliation. "I'm fine, Sarah," he whispered, but his eyes told a different story. I looked up at Karen, who was now lecturing a teenage volunteer about lazy people taking up space. My blood boiled. This wasn't just about a parking spot. This was about a woman who thought she could trample anyone in her path. I helped Dad sit up, brushing dirt off his jacket, my hands shaking with rage. Karen didn't stop. She pointed at the volunteer, a kid named Mia with a bright yellow vest, and snapped, "Why don't you do your job and clear these people out?" Mia, barely 16, looked like she'd been slapped. The crowd murmured, their phones still rolling, capturing every word. I stood, my voice low but steady. "You just knocked over my father's wheelchair. Apologize. Now." Karen laughed, a sharp, mocking sound that made my skin crawl. Apologize for what he was in my way. Maybe he should stay home if he can't handle the real world. The crowd's murmurs turned to shouts. A man in a flannel shirt yelled, "Lady, you're unbelievable," but Karen doubled down, tossing her hair. "I'm a busy woman. I don't have time for this nonsense." That's when the twist came. Mia, the volunteer, stepped forward, her voice quivering but clear. "You're the one who parked illegally. Ma'am, I saw your car in the handicapped spot yesterday. 2, you don't have a permit." The crowd erupted, and Karen's face twitched, her confidence cracking. Mia wasn't just a shy kid. She was the daughter of the community center's director, and she'd been keeping tabs on Karen's antics for weeks. She pulled out her phone, showing a photo of Karen's SUV parked across 2 handicapped spaces the day before. The crowd's anger swelled, and Karen's smugness faltered. I didn't know it then, but this was only the start. Karen's entitlement had been a storm brewing for years, and today, it was about to break. She'd been terrorizing the community center for months, complaining about slow volunteers, demanding priority at events, even bullying kids at the annual fair. Last week, she'd screamed at a mother for letting her toddler ruin her view of the flower show. But today, she'd picked the wrong fight. My dad wasn't just any retiree, and my mom, well, Karen was about to learn who she was. The tension in the parking lot thickened as Karen's voice grew louder, trying to drown out the crowd. "You people are ridiculous. I'm a paying member of this center," she shouted, jabbing a finger at me. "You think you can gang up on me? I'll sue every single one of you." Her threat hung in the air, but it only fueled the crowd's outrage. A woman in a nurse's scrub stepped forward, her phone still recording. "You pushed over a disabled man's wheelchair. Good luck with that lawsuit." Dad gripped my hand, his voice hoarse. "Sarah, don't let her get to you. She's not worth it." But I was done. I stood taller, my voice cutting through her tirade. "You don't get to treat people like garbage and walk away. You hurt my father, and you're going to answer for it." Karen's eyes narrowed, but before she could fire back, a new voice broke through the chaos. "Karen Thompson." Is it? The crowd parted as my mother, Judge Eleanor Hayes, stepped forward. At 62, she's a force sharp-eyed. Silver hair pulled back, her federal judge's presence commanding silence. Karen's jaw dropped, her bravado crumbling. Mom had been inside the community center, meeting with the director about a charity event. She'd seen the whole thing from the window. "I witnessed you assault a disabled veteran," Mom said, her voice calm but lethal. "And I'm not the only one." Karen stammered, her face pale. "I didn't mean to." It was an accident, but the crowd wasn't buying it. Mia held up her phone again, now showing a video of Karen shoving the wheelchair. The evidence was undeniable. Karen's eyes darted around, searching for an escape. But the crowd had her cornered. Phones were out everywhere, and the internet was already buzzing. By now, someone had posted the video online, and the hashtag Chuck Karen Knox wheelchair was trending on X. Mom didn't raise her voice. She never needed to. "You've been reported for similar behavior before," she said, her tone like steel, harassing volunteers, intimidating families. "And now this. You're not just a nuisance. Ms. Thompson, you're a danger." Karen's hands shook as she tried to back away, but the crowd's glares pinned her in place. Mia's mother, the center's director, joined us, her face grim. "We've had complaints about you for months. This is the last straw." The climax hit like a tidal wave. Karen's entitlement had built a house of cards, and it was collapsing. The crowd chanted for justice, their voices a chorus of fury. Karen tried to flee to her SUV, but the police arrived called by a bystander who'd had enough. As they approached, Karen's composure shattered. She screamed, "You can't do this to me. Do you know who I am?" The officer, unfazed, replied, "Ma'am, I don't care who you are. You're under arrest for assault." As they cuffed her, the crowd cheered, but I felt no joy. I knelt beside Dad, helping him back into his wheelchair, which a kind stranger had righted. His hands were still shaking, but he managed a weak smile. "Tough day, huh?" he said. I hugged him, tears stinging my eyes. Mom placed a hand on my shoulder, her face a mix of pride and sorrow. "She'll face consequences," she whispered. "I'll make sure of it." Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. The video went viral, racking up millions of views. Local news picked it up, and by evening, Karen's face was plastered across every platform. Her employer, a high-end real estate firm, issued a statement distancing themselves from her actions. By the next day, she'd been fired. The community center banned her for life, and the director filed a formal complaint for her pattern of harassment. Mom, true to her word, ensured the case was handled with precision. Karen faced charges for assault and reckless endangerment, with Mom's testimony sealing her fate. But the real justice came in the aftermath. The community rallied around Dad, raising funds for a new, custom wheelchair. Mia, the volunteer, became a local hero for standing up to Karen. Her quiet courage inspired others to share their own stories of Karen's bullying, painting a picture of a woman who'd spent years wielding her privilege like a weapon. The hashtag Justice for Henry trended alongside Chuck Karen Knox wheelchair, and strangers sent messages of support from across the country. As for me, I spent the next week by Dad's side, helping him recover from the bruises, both physical and emotional. He didn't talk much about that day, but one evening, as we sat on his porch, he said, "Sarah, people like her, they think they're untouchable, but the world's bigger than their ego." I nodded, thinking of Mom's calm strength, Mia's unexpected bravery, and the crowd that refused to stay silent. Karen's life unraveled in ways she never saw coming. Her social circle shrank as friends distanced themselves, unwilling to be associated with her disgrace. Her online presence, once filled with curated photos of her perfect life, became a graveyard of deleted posts. The internet didn't forget, and neither did we. Her name became synonymous with entitlement, a cautionary tale whispered at community events. In the end, justice wasn't just the arrest or the charges. It was the community coming together, refusing to let Karen's cruelty define us. It was Dad's quiet resilience, Mom's unyielding sense of right, and Mia's courage in speaking truth. It was the knowledge that no one, no matter how loud they scream, is above accountability. What do you think, was Karen's punishment fair? Or did she deserve more? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear them.